Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness, and this is episode 7 of my Fallout 4 No Loot Challenge run. And boy, am I excited to be joining you here today, because through the power of vegetables, the Deathclaw and Concord is defeated. I'm not kidding when I say that by the power of vegetables, because what I had to do was harvest enough crops from my own settlements to barter for frag mines to kill the Deathclaw. You can see here that it says that I have 2,700 plants harvested. By comparison, my character Nacho, which is level 200 and that I did most of my settlement building videos with, has total crops harvested around 1,400, and he has beaten the game and all the DLC. So, yeah, we have certainly accelerated into this whole Farmer Mary character. As for the chems crafted there, I'll point out that that includes all the caltrops that I made, as well as the bear traps. Basically anything you make at a chemistry station counts as a chem crafted. So I have not actually made 200 chems. But steel is starting to run a little bit low. We're not going to be making any more caltrops unless we think that there's going to be a use for them other than selling. As for other things to cover in our character, we are doing really well on our survival meter. We're at level 12. We've got a couple perks, and we'll talk about those in a minute. We've got the same weapons as we had as last time. We've got a baseball bat, and that is improved as much as it can be with Blacksmith 1, and same with the 10mm pistol in this pipe bolt action rifle. Both as good as I can get with Gun Nut 1. Our armor is as beefed up as it can be with Armor 1, and we have also elected to get ourselves a backpack. Now, I discussed in episode 2 that I think that the backpack from Creation Club is a little too easy and a little too overpowered without perks, so I have decided that I needed to have Armor 1 in order to attach that patch, and I'm going to need Armor 2 to make additional improvements to it. Still, I was able to buy that, and with that patch, that's Endurance 1, it's got a couple damage resist, and it's worth 25 carry weight. So I get 10 hit points and 25 carry weight. I needed that carry weight because I'm getting so many crops in some settlements that it was getting to the point where I couldn't carry them all. And I have not really settled in my mind whether or not having Codsworth as a pack mule is really okay or not. As for other things going on with our inventory here, we've got our first dose of antibiotics, which if I get an infection out in the field, that is going to save my life. We've also got an abundance of food and water, and we've got 3 robot repair kits in case Codsworth goes down, some mod controls, and just a little bit of ammo. Ammo is still really expensive, and I can't afford a whole lot of it. However, you can see that I have been saving my caps. I've got about 2,400 caps now, but once we get to Diamond City, those caps are going to go fast. As for other things that have happened, Mary has been eating nothing but vegetables for the last month, and so she lost a little bit of weight. And I figured it was time that her bruises should heal. And I also thought, well, since Mama Murphy is the closest thing to a doctor that we have in Sanctuary, after all, she knows all about drugs, right? That she should man the surgery chair. And that was a plan that backfired because Mama Murphy is just a complete psychopath. She did this to Mary. It's awful. Mary was conscious and had no painkillers for this entire process, and she wants revenge. The problem was that no one saw what Mama Murphy did, and they don't believe that such a sweet old lady could hurt Mary like this. And so if she was to just kill Mama Murphy, the other settlers in Sanctuary would turn against her. So we're going to have to find some other way to get our revenge. For now, Mary is embarrassed by the state of her face and is kind of doing the best that she can to just hide behind a bandana and some big sunglasses. Very sad. However, she is ready to soldier on when it comes to getting her son back, and that leads us to where we are today because, as I said, the Deathclaw in Concord is dead, and that means that we have a lot of different options for what we could do for quests. But I wanted to demonstrate this one in particular. Most of the open quests that I have are from Creation Club and are much further south. But this one in particular, I have done a little bit of experimenting with, and it is right here, and I wanted to show it to you because it explains why so many quests are going to be locked out for me. Because I have now found the Hubris delivery crate. That was the objective. And I thought, okay, maybe if I take like one thing out of this and then put it back, that will advance the quest. No. I thought maybe if I took the key, that might advance the quest. No. So if you take the holotape, that will advance the quest, but the holotape then becomes a quest item, and I can't put it back where I found it. Which means this quest is locked out to me. It's not part of the main storyline, and so I'm not going to make an exception for that. I have said that if I get to a point in the main story where there's just simply no other way to advance, that I will do so, but I will find or try to find workarounds even in those instances. So that leaves us with a couple of other choices. First is to just go ahead and go down to Diamond City and create and complete the quest associated with going to Diamond City the first time. The other is to take on the settlement over at Ten Pines Bluff and get them on side, and that usually means taking out raiders at Corvega. And although I'm not all that enthusiastic about more settlements right now, I feel like I'm going to have to do it eventually. I'm in the neighborhood, so we might as well just get it taken care of. Before we do, though, I am here on the advice of one of my subscribers who suggested that I should look and see if Trudy has any suppressed weapons, because a silenced weapon would be a great find for my character. And, oh, well then. I don't know if those have been spawning all along and I just missed them, or if that is a new thing that is starting to come in at higher levels, but I want that. That is for sure. So we're going to get our charisma gear on.
Let's see what you
and
got.
We're going to reduce the price a little bit. So we went from 140 to 108, which is not a huge price difference, but every cap matters in a playthrough and a rule set like this. So I have a little bit of weapon modification to do, and I think the closest weapon workbench that I know of is all the way back at Red Rocket. I am really looking forward to level 14 when I can get local leader 2 and start putting workbenches in other settlements. But this is very familiar territory running up to Red Rocket, so I'm not going to make you sit through it. I will come back when we're back at Starlight once again. So one thing of note happened on my trip back to Red Rocket and now back down towards Starlight, and that is that I have run into Kelly, the Brahmin trader, and I have encountered her a couple of times before, and I've also just randomly recruited Brahmin, so I actually have a Brahmin in all of my settlements.
Just tell me where you want me to
But
send her.
I will always take more, because Brahmin make fertilizer, and fertilizer is useful for making explosives. And although I am a very long way from taking explosives expert, eventually I would like to be able to make my own explosives, and it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and get a supply of fertilizer started. Now, some people have mentioned in comments that I could, for example, take fertilizer and sell it directly, but that would be taking something from a container and putting it into my inventory. And uh-oh. Hello, doggy. You want to let me sneak up on you and get a good whack in from behind? How many friends do you have? Well, you've got a lot of friends. Uh-oh. Codsworth, murder buddy. Help me out here. Okay. So, Codsworth, as I have said before, is a murder machine, and I just did that without my armor on. Oops. Good news is that I did not take any hits. I started to build up my criticals a little bit more. One thing that I'll also mention, since we're here, we didn't do it.
That was all I had.
Every 24 hours, when you talk to Codsworth, he will give you a purified water. And that has meant a lot, because I can take the bottles that I get and fill them up with dirty water and be able to use that to make food, as far as noodle cups and vegetable soup.
Road's pretty long.
As for Carla here, what do you have in your inventory for me today, Carla? I don't think I have much to sell other than that pistol that I don't need anymore, because I did take the suppressor off the pistol and put it on my rifle. And let's see. Oh, she doesn't even have enough caps on her right now to buy that off of me, which means that there's no point in looking through her inventory for oil. Oil is the thing that I am always out of, because it is used for turrets. It is fairly rare in things that you can buy from vendors, so I will spend just about any amount of caps to get oil, with the exception of the gold-plated lighter, because that would be 50 caps for one oil. But Trudy here, we can take a look and see if she's got any. I don't think that her inventory has... No, her inventory is the same. She has not responded to her inventory.
Huh?
But we're in really good shape. So thanks again to Fallout Gamer for pointing out that I should be looking over at Trudy for whether or not I can get some suppressors for my guns. Looks like I'm starting to get a little bit hungry, so why don't I go ahead and nip in here and drink some water just to top off. And
Seems to be growing well.
I don't... Actually, I'll just go ahead and pick all my crops. Be back in a second. Alright, jumping off for the second time today. We are going to, as I said, go talk to the settlers at 10 Pines Bluff. And the reason why I wanted to start from Starlight Drive-In is that I have a very clear path to 10 Pines Bluff, at least insofar as I don't get lost going this way, because if I go over these railroad tracks, I can follow them pretty much entirely all the way to the settlement. There is sometimes a random encounter that happens underneath that bridge, so we're just going to sneak past it because there's not going to be any reason for us to take on any more encounters than we have to. After all, we don't gain any benefit from it, and it would only leave us a little bit weaker as far as potentially hit points or rad damage or whatever, ammo, you name it, when it comes time to go do Corvega. Bedford Station, on the other hand, is directly in my path, and I do want to clear this out because if I don't, then I won't have a good path to get to my new settlement. And why am I not wearing my armor? Goodness gracious. Let's go ahead and get armored up. It may just save our lives when it comes to trying to take on these ghouls. Now, I could shoot some of these guys, but honestly, I really want to try and get as many sneak attacks in as I can, because every time I do that, it is one less bullet that I am spending. And in very real terms, every time I shoot my gun, I am essentially firing another melon or gourd or a couple pieces of corn or whatever out of it, because I had to barter crops to get that ammo. I think we just took a hit there, which is maybe not great for our disease pool, and we're in danger. So, oh, there is a guy right there. Get him, Codsworth. So, I am got a critical at this point, and I might need it to save my life. Holy crap. Alright, well, oh no. Everything was going great until I hit Codsworth in the back. Sorry, buddy. Is that all of them? I don't know if it's all of them. I think there might still be... Yeah, there's still some on the ground, and I think there might still be some inside the station as well. But at least if they're just waking up, we can still get our sneak attacks in. There's another guy over there. There's two more over there. Just kind of slowly, carefully, quietly. Don't come into range. Whack both of them. There we go. That is two more dead ghouls. It still says we're in danger. I don't know where it's coming from though. I'm guessing it's probably a ghoul that, yes, was inside the station. Good thing Best Defense is so strong, because I don't think that I would have survived any of this without Best Defense. And well, there's Kelly way over there. What are you doing over there, Kelly? There's nobody to sell Brahmin to around here. Where are you? You gotta be around here somewhere. You're outside. There we go. Ooh, this one's a roller, a little bit stronger. It's hit me several times. Oh, and I'm sick. Not good. What was insomnia? Is that more sleep required? Or, yeah, requires more sleep. Well, that's too bad, but nothing for it but to continue on. I will, however, go ahead and top up my hit points with some water. It's funny because stim packs only hit 30% of your hit points. Water is actually a much more potent healing item at this stage of the game because it heals 40 hit points, whereas 30% of my hit points is only around 31, 32 hit points. I remember the first time that I came to Ten Pines Bluff. I had not encountered a vendor yet and was starting to wonder if vendors were even going to be part of the game. It was my first playthrough. I went into Fallout 4 pretty much unspoiled, and it was it was a cliche. It was a dark and stormy night, and happened to come across the wandering armor vendor, and boy, he was a sight for sore eyes because I was nearly dead from those ghouls at the station, and he led me the rest of the way to Ten Pines Bluff because I just followed him on his route. Well, here we are at Ten Pines Bluff, and I really wish this guy would put his gun away.
Do you always point a gun at everyone you meet?
I'm afraid I do these days. If we lose any more of our crops, we'll be done for. Now you'd best get yourself...
Well, I have good news for you because I am a farming genius.
It's okay.
I am here to
The
help.
Minutemen. I'm here.
You're with the Minutemen? I didn't really think you fellas still existed. We sent word with one of them passing traders.
Well,
But
there's
honestly, I never expected anything.
one guy. It's more like
Most people don't
he is
put
the
much stock in
Minuteman.
Minutemen these days. After Quincy.
Yeah, well,
Is there something you need my help with?
Oh, yeah.
yeah. What is it exactly you want
There's a
here?
raider gang that's been giving us trouble for. We know where they're coming from, but we can't go up.
Gang like that. Let me guess where it's going to be. Oh, to the surprise of no one, it is at Corvega.
I'll
I'm gonna kick
asses
their
for you.
ass.
No problem.
Thanks, friend. If you folks are for real this time, there'll be a...
Yeah. If. There's no if about it. I do wish that I could sleep, though, because even though I do have some adrenaline going, I would trade that for a save game right this minute, because Corvega is going to be tough. The good news is that we know that we don't have to actually clear Corvega for this quest to be considered complete. All we have to do is we have to kill the leader of the raiders in Corvega, and there is a bit of a shortcut to that. And especially since we're not doing any looting, it means that there's really no advantage to clearing out the entire factory. I think that I am going to go ahead and take the railroad tracks back to Starlight. Well, here we are, starting out again for the third time. I suppose now would be a good time to take some perks, since we're going to be going into combat soon. I have really debated exactly what to take here. Certainly a point of perception or point of endurance really sounds pretty good right about now. But so far I've been able to snipe people without using VATS too much, and I think that I can continue to limp along with my perception where it is. As for other perks, I can't see myself doing unarmed combat when I've got melee weapons available to me. And as for those melee weapons, I can't see myself doing big leagues right now because so far, as long as I can sneak up on an enemy, I get him in one shot, and even if I don't, I get him in two. Armor 2 and Blacksmith 2 are not available to me yet. Pickpocket is completely useless to me because I cannot loot the things that I pull out of people's pockets. And as for toughness has always been, in my opinion, just not as good as just getting some better armor. Can't get anything else in the endurance tree. Literally, like, not available to me at the moment. Cap Collector, not available. Black Widow. I really debated Black Widow because it is a fun perk to have, and I would definitely like to have it before I get to Diamond City, but we shall see. I don't need it right now, so I'm going to leave that one alone. I am using companions, so Lone Wanderer is out, and since my companion is not dog meat, so is Attack Dog, Animal Friends, not interesting. I want Local Leader at level 14 because I am really looking forward to being able to build workstations, and especially I am looking forward to being able to hire a doctor. But to do that, I am going to need Medic 1. And that might be what we're going to go after because Vans... Has anybody ever taken Vans? I suppose the second rank might be interesting, but I don't know if that's going to unlock additional perks. Like, if I get to level 36 and take 2 points in Vans, does that mean that I get to unlock up to level 4 in my Perception? And why would I take Vans over just getting the extra accuracy in VATS from Perception? It's bizarre. Gunnet 2, not available until next level. And Hacker, I don't know why I would take Hacker since it's mostly used for unlocking additional loot. As for the agility tree, we've got Gunslinger. I am specializing in rifles because they can one-shot and I can be farther away. And I am just a glass cannon. Commando, I will never be able to afford enough ammo for Commando to make sense. I would like another rank of Sneak. I am getting detected a little too easily. Partly just because I'm out of practice, man. Like, Sneak in Fallout 76 is just so much stronger that I'm not used to having to actually slow down. Mr. Sandman, because of the silenced weapon bonus, has some interest, but the silenced weapon bonus is not as good as maybe an additional rank of Ninja later. So we're going to hold off on Mr. Sandman, at least for now. I'm not running out of action points routinely. If I am spotted, I'm kind of already dead, so moving target is not useful. And Fortune Finder and Scrounger, just no good. So what does that leave us, right? Like, there are just so many things that are not good. There's a few things that are. Because I am still one-shotting enemies with my rifle, and because at rank 14 I will want to hire a doctor, and at rank 13 I'm going to either want Gun Nut 2 or Armorer 2, I am going to take a point in Medic now. It's not of particular use right this minute, but it is going to be in the future, and so we might as well take it. And the other is going to have to be Sneak. I am getting caught too often, so we're going to take a rank of Sneak. Anyways, that is my rationale for what I'm doing with my perks. I hope that was not too long or too wordy, but I just thought it might be interesting to let you guys kind of get in my head a little bit and see what I'm thinking about. As for Lexington here, there is very little point in me going further into town that I have to. I am going to go ahead and pick up the map marker or the super duper mark, but there is not one reason for me to go inside. I mean, there's loot and magazines and stuff in there, but since none of that applies to me, we're just going to say hail and farewell to Super Duper Mart and probably never come by here again, except maybe on the way back out of the Corvega plant. Speaking of our way into the Corvega plant, I am going to take maybe an approach that you are not going to expect. And I say that being especially aware that I am headed for the underground entrance into the sewer pipe. Because there is little point in going through with actually killing every one of these raiders, I don't see the point in very methodically going through and trying to clear this place out. Instead, I am going to try and charge that door right there, because that is about as close an exterior door as I can get to the final boss of the dungeon. We'll see how this goes. Well, a slight change of plans. I have managed to charge the door that I talked about a couple of times, but that room is so full of enemies, and they come at such a rapid pace that I have struggled to make it through that room alive. However, I realized that I could climb this tree right here that is also right next to that sewer entrance, and what do you know, I have more or less kind of inadvertently cleared the front entrance, and all that's left is a couple of turrets, which should be easy enough to take out. So I am actually going to go in the front door, which seems crazy for this character, but we're going to see if we can make it work. There's one of the turrets. I believe there is maybe one more over here, and don't worry about that guy. He's dead. He's just really glitchy. Was that it? Was it just the one turret? I guess it was just one turret up here. And here we are. We're just going to go in the front door and try to work our way over to the elevator that takes us up to the boss room. Hopefully Codsworth will have decided to teleport and join us. Yes, he has. That is very good. Let's make sure that there's nobody hiding in the bathroom. I think I'm going to switch over to my 10mm for this. Wish I could have found a suppressor for this gun, but oh, good word, Codsworth. Cut his flipping arm off. Nice job, buddy.
You sure you saw something?
Even better, you were quiet about it. We have not alerted the entire place to our presence just yet. That is about to change, though. I do not have a suppressor on this. I do have a muzzle brake, which I think helps, but it is... There's another guy just trying to hide in the corner there, and that fence is going to protect us from him. Down he goes. As long as we don't get swarmed, we should be alright. And that was my problem with the other room, was there was about 6 or 8 that were shooting at me through the catwalks. There was no place to hide. There was bright lights and bright lights and spotlights and no shadows to hide in. It was just not working out very well. I think total number of raiders that we'll have to kill is going to be higher on this route, but we can kind of do it a little bit more at our pace, especially with Codsworth. You see what I mean about Codsworth just being my little murder buddy? You are brave but dumb, and so far today, that's working out fine. We're in danger. Let's go ahead and wait for it to at least get back to caution and kind of... Alright, Codsworth, I need you to either go through there or let me go through there. One or the other. I don't really care which, but hovering in the door is not working for us.
Better run.
Boy, I see a lot of good stuff around here when it comes to like typewriters and telephones and Nuka-Cola and you name it that I would love to pick up. I will say one thing for this play style, and that is that you just kind of sit back and kind of enjoy the scenery a little bit more. Especially in the overworld, it is, you don't spend all your time running with your head down, you know, looking around, scouring the ground for loot. You just are moving along and with your head up and like I said, just kind of taking in the scenery. Well, I think that this ended up being the much better route because I thought there would be more raiders. I remembered there being a longer entrance to get to this elevator, and this elevator, of course, is a shortcut to the final boss room. And we're going to take it because why bother killing all the raiders when you can kill one raider and go back and tell the villagers that the problem is solved, even though you have left the vast majority of those raiders intact. Alright, there are spotlights in this room that are going to interfere with me being sneaky. Let us see if we can maybe shoot some of those spotlights out before things get too wild around here. I'm pretty sure there's one of them up here. Yep. And let's see, there is a turret over there that we can go ahead and take out. And there's our target, Jared. You know, how funny would it be if I managed to get him from right here and with the VATS critical and it was just mission over. Or not. What happened to my VATS critical? Alright, execute critical. There we go. And there we go. The mission is somehow over, even though, as you can see, there is still plenty of violence in this room. Now, for my own reasons, I do want to try and clear this room out. So, let us continue to try and poke around here and see if we can spot raiders or... Let's see, are you... No, let's see if we can find more spotlights. I am very aware that I could activate that Protectron and have him fight alongside me, but my experience has been that that has been more trouble than it's worth, because I always end up making that Protectron turn hostile, and that ends up just being one more enemy that I have to kill. He rarely kills very many or any enemies for me. There's another spotlight over there. Well, I'm feeling kind of exposed in the light here. I'm going to take that out. And there is the second turret. Get rid of that guy. I think there might be one more. I'm not 100% sure. Still, we are we are chipping away at these guys, and so far, I don't know that any one of them has even managed to take a shot at us. And compared to how sneaking felt outside, I think I am kind of understanding and appreciating the difference between shadowed armor and other, because outside there's no shadows, it's still daytime, but in here it does seem to be working a lot better. Let's see, where was that guy? Oh, he's leaning against a rail. Maybe I could shoot him right in the ass. Ass shot confirmed. I think we might be down to just one or two more raiders.
Okay, cut the shit. Who is that?
Here's another spotlight. We don't need that.
Shit's got ambush all over it.
Oh, hello. Alright. That, I believe, is the last raider in this room. And although there is nothing for me to loot up here, there is a terminal that I want to take a look at, because I think it might shed some light on that bitch Mama Murphy. Oh, and there's a Grognak. Oh, how I wish I could take the Grognak. Anyways, Jared's terminal here has, it turns out, a lot to say about Mama Murphy. And so gunfire is quietly quieted down, so they've secured Lexington, and here we go. Jared has been using a lot of drugs to try and replicate Mama Murphy's ability. She says, "Kids, you're gonna be a monster." And I don't know, man. Predestination is a funny thing. Would he have been a monster whether or not she said anything to him? I would say that maybe not. And maybe it's her fault that we have all these raiders in Lexington. And frankly, it might be her fault when it comes to the Quincy massacre, because the reason for the attack on Quincy, where all of our new friends in Sanctuary come from, were because Jared wanted Mama Murphy. So, there was a lot of other details about that story, but ultimately, yeah, it's all her fault. And it's just one more reason why we are going to need to get our revenge, because if it hadn't been for her, Jared might not have gone raider, and Quincy might not have got attacked, and I would not have a completely messed up face. As for what's going on now, there are a couple more raiders that will spawn when you go up and approach that terminal, so we're going to have to take them out very quickly. Fortunately, our health has held up pretty well, and so we're actually going to 2 50-50 shots. Got him on the first try, and we have one more to go. Frankly, I won't bother if I don't have to. don't think that I have to. So normally I would take this door out to a somewhat deserted rooftop in back area of Corvega, but as it turns out, I haven't cleared that area out yet. So I think that the smarter route to go back home is actually going to be I should have taken the elevator. I couldn't remember if there was any enemies in here, and there might still be a ghoul or something if it spawned to walk in there. No reason to do it though. So let's just get the heck out of Dodge and get back home to Starlight Drive. As I headed back to Ten Pines Bluff to give them the good news about the Raiders, I ran into our old friend Lucas Miller, who was the first vendor that we were going to talk to besides Trudy and Carla.
I'll take a look.
And
Sure.
Don't cheap out.
I've actually already taken a peek at his inventory and went ahead and put on my charisma gear to try and help negotiate some better deals, because his stuff is good but expensive. And I am looking at some of these things, and I had felt good about the number of caps that I had saved up from all this farming, and was quickly reminded just how expensive the legendary gear is that are guaranteed drops in vendor inventories. It is currently, completely unattainable. We're going to have to find something better than farming in order to get our hands on some of this stuff, because I was looking at the Mantis Left Grieve, and with my normal charisma of 6, this was over 14,000 caps. With my current charisma of 10 with my charisma gear on, it is still over 10,000 caps. And that is a lot of melons. Now granted, this is a really great piece of armor. It has agility and perception, both are things that I really would like to have more of, but at 10,000 caps, completely out of my range. There are some things that we aren't going to be able to afford though. We're going to get ourselves a champion left arm. I'm not sure why this is so much cheaper than the Mantis. It's strength and endurance, and it's already improved a little bit. So again, I'm not sure why that is so comparatively cheap, but I will take it. As for other things, I am ready to start upgrading to metal armor. A lot of times metal armor is not great because of the weight penalty that you pay with it, but I don't really care, right? Like, I don't have to bring things back from the field, and that means that I don't really care how much the metal armor weighs. As for these other things, I think I've either got or can improve what I've got to be as good or better than those. I am going to pick up a metal helmet because my little pink mining helmet is damage resist 3 ballistic, and this is just worth a lot more. I do hate giving up my headlamp, and I may actually hang on to my mining helmet just for that piece. But for day-to-day wear, we'll be better off with that metal helmet. As for this metal left arm, I've already picked up a metal left arm? Not yet. So we will go ahead and get that. And the Wastelander's right leg. Damage from super mutants. Compared to the right leg, once I improve that metal right leg, I think that it's going to be better than this and not quite such a niche buy. Does he have anything else that I want? We got some shipments here, but really not to the point of being able to afford shipments, so that's it for now. But we are going to have ourselves a right arm, right leg, and left arm, and a helmet that are upgraded to metal, as well as a... Actually, wait, what was the champion? Champion is a left arm, so that means that I don't need this metal left arm. That's good. It's good that I realized that and didn't waste that money. Still, 621 caps. That is a significant portion of what I have saved up, and as I said, it was a lot of melons. Good news is that my expedition to Corvega cost me less ammunition than I had planned or hoped, and so that means that I've got a little bit more money to spend when it comes to armor. For the last thing that we're going to do today, we are going to go ahead and, as I said, let the settlers at Ten Pines Bluff here know the good news. And all in all, I would say a fairly successful episode. We have now gotten ourselves past the Deathclaw. We have gotten past our first Minuteman quest, and we are headed to Diamond City next episode. So, if you would like to see that, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so that
I took care of it.
when I do publish that episode, you'll get notified. If you didn't like this episode, please tell me why in a comment so that I can try and do better for you next time. Constructive criticism is the best way that I know how to get better.
You can count on us if you need help down the line.
Until next time, my name is Nacho Bidness, and I'm saying it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it.